Hey, everybody, it's James Black. I'm here with Dekes and Annik, and this is the Habs Tonight Roundtable, broadcasting on Monday. And let's just say that it wasn't the best weekend for the Habs. We're coming off another two tough losses, one against Detroit, the other against our rival, the Bruins. And everyone, let's just take a quick temperature check. How are we doing after a tough road swing across two of the original six teams? And two very unfortunate losses on what is turning into a very difficult campaign for the Montreal Canadiens.
Honestly, the last few games have been obviously not the outcome we wanted. We did rack up a few points. It did look a little bit more positive than it did at the start of the season. So can't complain too much. But obviously, when you start playing well and then blowing games 5-2 and it just goes downhill after the second period blues that we keep having, it's getting kind of depressing to watch. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Deeks, you did the post game last night with Adrian. What
Yeah.
you guys were laughing, so at least something good happened.
It's good to laugh, guys. Yeah, I mean, we were trying to keep it light. It was Adrian's first show. Like, we're not going to be down in the dumps for the guy's first post-game show on the Habs Tonight
Welcome.
as an official co-host. You know, like new to the team, Adrian is, and he's been a guest on many times. But I mean, it's one of those things where, like, as an adult brain, like, you have to decide how you're going to take losing when it happens, because it's not a matter of if, but when. And that includes the Stanley Cup winning teams. They're going to go downhill. Look at the Chicago Blackhawks right now in more ways than one. But it's just, how do you handle it? How do you handle the fact that the near future doesn't look very good for this team? It's hard. You have to kind of separate yourself from it a little bit. As we all know, we cover this team very closely, almost on a daily basis sometimes. And it does become a bit much mentally because you feel that negative energy, right? So I'm trying to just separate myself from it a little bit sometimes, but we are going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you want to try to come up with solutions because you're trying to think, at least this show is trying to think similar to how a player or a GM or somebody would think that's trying to find solutions. As we all know, Dale leads this show and he's been in the situation before. So we're trying to find solutions at the end of the day and also call out the problems, you know, respectfully, but you have to separate yourself from it, because if you don't, your mental health as a fan is not going to be very good either. So hallelujah. Yes. Or what? Because that's true.
So yeah, when your team's losing, it doesn't mean you as a fan are a loser. It just means your team isn't doing well.
But you feel a little like one.
A little.
Well, you go back to like that moment when you became a fan. You go like, well, what, did I have to listen to my parents? Did I have to become a Habs fan? Did I have to like that team because the colors were appealing to me? You know, and you start second guessing all that stuff. We're here to tell you that
this team. I can tell you
exactly.
Yeah.
It's okay, guys. Like, the logo's always going to be here. It's awesome. It's the best jersey in the league. At a minimum, you've got that. So just roll with it. Plus, we got the Habs Tonight logo, which is also pretty sick. So don't fret.
It's original, copywritten. Thank you, Nick. And you, James. Go ahead.
Oh, well, there you go. Legal department at Habs tonight has been busy. Okay, so with the roundtables, we like to bring up 3 or 4 hot topics. Last week we talked about Petrie. We talked about a bunch of other stuff. So we'll leave Petrie out of it this week. We might talk about his contract, but what we want to talk about is a lot of the comments saying, "Oh, we should clean house. We should basically just trade everyone that has any sort of value." And, rebuild around Suzuki and, Cole Caulfield and Nick Pizzetta and, Romanov. Let's just go and just blow it up and be young. Well, I'm here to tell you that might not be a practicality. We've got some heavy contracts on the books. Some of them might be, sort of albatrossy in certain ways, though players we love. Guys, just walk the fans through why we can't clean house or at least what the approach should be this year around roster building.
Dekes, I'm going to let you take the hand on this and comment afterwards if you want.
Sure. Well, the way the team is built right now, it's not built for a rebuild. So it's going to be up to the next GM to do that, I think. And at the core of this all, the heart and soul of the team, yes, it's Brendan Gallagher, but this all comes down to Carey Price and what his future looks like. So a team with Carey Price on it is not going to rebuild. I don't think Carey's going to be sticking around for that. And it's really about some soul searching right now. I mean, as we all know, Carey is really doing some soul searching. So yeah. I really think that it comes down to what he decides. He's got the no movement clause. He's got full control. So what does Carey Price want to do with the rest of his NHL career? And then is there any possibility of Shea Weber coming back? Is there any chance? And if there is, if that means he takes the whole year off this year and comes back next year, you got a full season with Price and maybe Weber again, and then you just keep trying to kick at the same can that you already were, or do you try to tear it down now? I wouldn't be surprised if Bergevin gets let go before the end of the season, maybe before the end of this year, and then just say, all right, listen, Mark, you've done it. You've been here a decade. You've been here long enough. You tried your best, and it's time to move on. So until Mark Bergevin's out the door, I don't know who the GM is going to be to rebuild this team, but it's certainly not going to be him. So until he's gone or Carey Price makes a decision on his future, there's no rebuild in sight.
Right.
You can't go ahead and blame Carey Price either if ever he did want to move that no trade clause and go to a Stanley Cup contending team. I mean, this guy's not getting any younger, let's be honest. And heck, he deserves it. Like, I wouldn't even be mad. Obviously, you'd be disappointed and it sucks you're losing your franchise player. But if you're going to go ahead and clean house, like you said, Drew, it's not going to be around your veteran guys that you have right now. You're going to have to make some moves. People are going to have to leave, and it's going to have to be what it is. And it's not just on the ice. It's going to have to be, in my opinion, from the top. So get yourself a GM, get yourself a president of hockey ops, clean house when it comes to Trevor Timmins, drafting, the bench, clear it out. We were talking about a fire sale earlier. Is it doable? Is it something we should consider? What would need to happen for us to go full out fire sale? That's another topic.
Yeah, it's tough because Anderson's on the books till 27, Galley as well. Petrie and Savard, heavy money through 2026. Weber's contract still sitting there.
Eating up a chunk.
Yeah. And those are all players that I think would be very difficult to move unless there was some sort of cap mechanics on the other side. It's just the roster is set. It is what it is. And as you say, the club now has to decide, are we going to look at a rebuilding opportunity, over 2 or 3 years, integrate some of the younger players over time, let them commingle with the veterans. And then, this team still can still make the playoffs. But I want to transition this discussion to the goaltending situation. So Josh Allen got hurt, got a concussion. We had to put Montembeault. Did I get that right?
Yeah,
got in.
Nailed it.
Couple admirable starts, kind of let down, I think, last night especially. But he came out, let 2 goals in on against the Detroit Red Wings, and then had a really good game. I think almost 30 saves after that. So he seems like he's actually decent. If you go back to the Buffalo game, I think our second game of the season, we were really concerned, right? And now we have Primo called up, but Allen may come back. It looks like he's on a day-to-day, but it's a problem. Like right now, the goaltending until Carey gets back is a problem. And so what are we going to do? We're going to just keep trying to, run Allen into the ground and then hope something happens here with the solid backup, or do you think Carey's going to come back in the next few weeks? Which leads me to my next question after. But do we think that what we have right now is sustainable?
It's a lot of if, buts, and maybes in my book right now. The way Carey is progressing off the ice, as Duchamp said yesterday, he's progressing well in the gym. He's going to start skating solo this week. So if we're talking about on track, I think Carey is on track for the timeline that was set. Obviously, well, not timeline. We don't have an official date, but for the schedule that was set for him. So for me, if we can see Carey Price by the end of December, maybe early January, I'm fine with that. But yet again, if the team keeps going like it's going and Carey needs some extra time, it's not like we're wasting a season. Like it's already not going super well, right? So take the time you need, Carey, first of all. As for Jake Allen, you can't really blame him for the situation that's going on right now either. Like the defense has just been, let's be honest, defense has been awful. So it doesn't reflect well on him. Montembeault's been playing, honestly deserves better. Yesterday, he was all over the ice. I'm satisfied, apart from those first 2 goals against Detroit. Like, obviously, that was a little bit of a downer, and we kind of lost control of the game from there. But yesterday, you took a look at him. He was ready. He was in control of that game. For me, it will be his rebounds, maybe a little bit more to start controlling that, because it's a little bit all over the place. But aside from that, he's been solid. So I don't know. It also brings me to the question where McNiven commented that he's been given countless opportunities and he still hasn't moved up. So is this a kid that you give the opportunity to maybe showcase himself and use him as a trade asset? If he's not happy, I mean, bring him up. This year would be the perfect year to do this. Let him come up. Let him show you what he can do. If he's good, you keep him. If not, well, trade bait.
Right.
With Montembeault too, I feel bad because he did play relatively well overall in both games. If you look at Detroit and Boston, but on that, was it the second goal yesterday? I mean, I was listening to Knuckles this morning on the radio, and Knuckles was like, he was in the TD Garden parking lot on that goal. I'm like, like he was out of his net.
Yeah.
Pretty far. Like, I mean, there wasn't even a chance of like a diving glove save. It was just, he was way out of the net there. So in that one, I don't know what he was seeing. He was obviously screened or something because he was way out of position for that goal.
Yeah.
But other than that, can't really fault him too much, except for the Detroit game. Of course, he comes in after Jake Allen gets run.
That whole team during the, sorry, I thought you meant Buffalo. Never mind.
No, I meant Detroit. Yeah, like
Sorry.
just, that's okay. I try to forget that Buffalo game altogether.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm glad I didn't go to it, by the way. So, with the situation too, you've got Caden Primo though. That's here on the emergency recall. So, do you put him in tomorrow? Give him a shot? Like, do we even bother? Like, if Jake Allen's good to go, you might just want to put him back in. But then again, I'm thinking, hold on, we might need Jake Allen going forward here until Carey's back. So maybe just give Caden a shot. Let him play in MSG. Let him play in the greatest arena in the world, one of the most exciting places to play, and give him a shot. If Caden gets a W, great. If he doesn't, okay, that's fine. He's going to keep doing well in Laval. Give them a chance to go get a championship down in Laval this year. That's another situation that you're going to have to discuss too, is what do you do with the Laval Rocket? How many guys do you want to keep down there to try to give them a chance to win and feeling good? Because the Canadiens aren't feeling good right now. So why do you want to bring more guys up? But in Caden's case, it's an emergency recall only, but I'd be okay with giving him a shot tomorrow. And as far as McNiven goes, give him a shot too. Why not? I mean, if they keep going downhill, showcase him, let's get an asset out of him or something. Let's just make a move and get something out of it.
Yeah. It's incredible how a position of strength a mere 4 or 5 months ago now is basically one of our weaknesses because of injury and other reasons. So yeah, it's tough. And just to make sure that we're putting it out there, would you ever entertain at this stage Carey Price, going to him and saying, would you be willing to move? Seeing that I think there's a ton of value based on his performance last year. Do you even entertain that as a fan? Would you even want to, Burge to make a couple calls and talk to Carey about it? Or is this just with everything that's happened the last couple months, that's just instability, don't touch it, let it go?
I'm going to give two opinions. So my first one obviously is I would not want Carey to move. That's just as a fan. Carey is heart and soul of this team. God knows if we can give him a championship, like the kid deserves it. So for me, I'm saying no. But if Carey turns around and tells Burge or whoever's going to be GM, listen, I don't have a lot of time left. I'd like to be moved. I have the utmost respect for that. Like I said at the beginning, he deserves his championship. So if we can go get something for him and it's on his own terms, yes. If Burge turns around and trades him, just like, hey, we need to trade people. We're tanking. Not we're tanking, but we're, it's not going well. Then no, that I have no respect for. It has to be on Carey's terms.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fork in the road situation in life, I think, for Carey Price right now. Like, it's definitely one or the other. Like, you're going to have to go one way or the other. Carey Price is just too classy of an individual to just give up so quickly, though. So
yeah,
I think he gives it one more year after this year and says, okay, then he's still got 3 years left on his deal. So right now he's got actually 5 years left currently. So next year he would still have 4 years left. So why not just take all the time you need this year? If this season's a wash and you get a great draft pick, fantastic. And if you get a healthy Carey Price back next year and you're still not making serious progress, then you got to tear it down.
Then you consider.
So I think a rebuild is more likely 22, 23 than 2020, 21, 22. Let's put it that way. I think this season, I just don't see it unless Carey just comes to Mark's door in the next few months and says, okay, let's talk about me moving on. Otherwise, it's amazing how much this whole rebuild is built around Carey Price. I feel like it's amazing to think that one player has that much pull, but he does.
It's out of respect for him too, right?
Like, yeah, he deserves an opportunity to go win, but he wants to do what's right for the Montreal Canadiens. I think he cares about his legacy as well. Carey Price is a proud player. He's a proud person, and he wants to do right by everybody if he can. So I think there's still a lot of question marks there.
Well, especially that he hasn't played this season, right? So knowing Carey Price, the humble man that he is, he's probably not just going to say, well, you know what, it's not going well this season, trade me. No, he hasn't played. If he would have played a full season and it's still not going right, like you said, next year, if he comes back fully healthy next year and it just doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, then you got to consider the option. It's a huge contract. It's a huge chunk. It's like Weber. Weber's got a huge contract right now. My personal opinion is that Weber does not come back. Obviously, we all want it, but if you think about it realistically, it doesn't look super good, right?
No, it doesn't. And I think the wait and see approach is probably where we're all at this point. And it's just the way it's going to have to be. Like, sorry, but there's enough leadership, enough experience on the squad right now that we can definitely get people, get a few wins and then hopefully see this thing, ride it out, see where we're at at the end of the year. And as we discussed, it's just hard to unlever the cap situation without knowing really where the key building blocks are going to be. And that's right now, Carey and Shea. So let's talk about bright spots like we like to do every week. So bright spots are in existence. They are here. And I think from the weekend, I'll let you, Annik, tell us where you saw bright spots. And hopefully if you're watching, you can comment and tell us as well where you see the bright spots.
First of all, Michael Pezzetta, congratulations on your first NHL goal. This kid has been absolute fire on the fourth line. He was playing with Poehling and Belzile for the first few games, which I absolutely love that line, but I like the fact that Poehling went up too. So really happy for him. He's been tearing it up. So I'm hoping he stays in the lineup once we get a few injuries come back. That's one positive for me. Ryan Poehling is another positive, scores his first goal of the season as soon as he's called up. So you can kind of see if you're comparing the preseason to right now, the difference between Ryan Poehling. He's been finishing his checks. He's been winning his battles. He's been a little bit of a spark for us. I wish he would get a little bit more ice time, but I mean, can't ask for much at this point. Really satisfied with what he's doing. I'm hoping he stays with the club. And when we get Paquette's going to be coming back at some point. But for me, if you think Poehling and Paquette, I'm taking Poehling 100% over Paquette. No disrespect to Sideric here, but another bright spot would be Suzuki faceoffs and just point consistency. He was 80% last night for faceoffs, and Bergeron was like 48 at some point. So huge improvement if Nick can get going on faceoffs and be more consistent like that. Big positive for him. Dvorak faceoffs, obviously a great strength for him. He was a lot more visible on the ice these past 2 games, which is what I want to see from him. So the consistency is starting. Not going to complain too much. David Savard wasn't as bad in the past 2 games as well. Seeing a little bit more from him. So that's just another subject, him along with Petrie here, but we're going to keep it positive.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else.
Good. Those are bright spots. Cole Caulfield, he scored a goal in the AHL.
Hey, Deeksy.
Oh, Deeks is like, I need to jump in on that.
Can't hear you, Deeks.
Did you say Cole Caulfield?
Yes, we did. It's like the bad.
I'm just kidding. My dog Sherman wanted to make an appearance on Habs tonight, so here he is.
Shermy.
What's up, Shermy?
So he was crying in the corner, so I had to go get him.
Did you watch the Cole Caulfield goal? Goal, I should say.
Come on,
the golden goal.
Of course
I saw it. No.
Greatest goal since the golden goal. The Cole Caulfield mess. What angle was that, dude? I'm not good at math. Is that a?
It was a worse angle than Larkin's goal on Montembeault the other night. Let's just put it that way. Like it was.
Yes.
Like for him, for that to be his first one, it's okay. Okay, guys, like settle down. I'm a pure goal scorer, and it was nice to see that one go in for him, right? But he's in Laval, and I'm happy for him because again, he's not part of this.
He's got 2
negative.
Points, right?
Yeah, he's got 2 points. So he's not part of the negative environment on the Habs right now. So, and can you guys do me a favor too, and maybe pull up the injury list still? I mean, we got to remind fans about where this team is at with injuries. I mean, look at it. Like these guys aren't slouches either. You got Byron, Pricey, Webbs, obviously, Jake Allen. So your 2 best goalies. Matthew Pro, who was playing just fine before he got injured. Joel Edmondson. Can we get him back soon enough, please? Cedric Paquette. Drouin is going to be back in tomorrow night against the Rangers. And then Norlinder. Like I'm looking forward to seeing Matthias Norlinder. And you know what? I would be okay with seeing Norlinder, Primo, Drouin back in the lineup tomorrow against the Rangers. That'd be interesting enough to watch, especially right now, being that I don't know that we're supporting wins right now. I think fans are starting to get behind the whole tanking thing right now, but I'm not there. I think we've all kind of decided that we still want to cheer these guys on to wins. But
too many guys that are
yeah.
winners at the core of it, who know how to win, maybe, or have had winning experiences, I should say, that you're not going to tell Gally, Anderson, Petrie, even Savard, any of those guys,
Suzuki.
even they're playing like crap. Sometimes you just got to, I'm sorry, but their mentality is not to, and they're not going to want to be benched either. That would get too noisy as well behind the scenes, I think. So
don't forget, Mike Hoffman, who's now upper body injury as well.
And now Hoffman.
Keep at him,
It's Murphy's Law, guys. Honestly,
we're going to need a scroll on that list soon.
Yeah.
At this rate, it's really, really bad. But I mean, once those guys come back, you got Byron, who's on pace to come back by Christmas. You got Eddie that's coming back in the next few weeks. Drouin is back. Yeah. Perro's going to be back in about 2 weeks if all goes well. There's a lot of moves that are going to have to Carey Price, maybe. Yeah, no pressure, Carey.
Talked about him a little bit today.
There's a lot of guys that are going to have to come back, and a lot of people are going to have to be sent down. So for me, sending down would be guys like Paquette. Like I said, I'm keeping Paling over Paquette any day in the lineup right now. Yep. When you look at Belzile and Perrault, I like the way Belzile's been playing. I also like the way Perrault is playing. So that's going to be a little bit of a good situation, I guess, to have is who do you keep? And then if you're bringing Paul Byron back in, who are you taking out?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean,
it's maybe tough.
Well, I think Pez is. I think eventually Pez is going to go back down as much as we've loved him.
Yeah.
I know you probably hate hearing that, Nick, but I think eventually the Rocket could use him for a playoff push my gosh, sure. Could they ever? Right.
For sure.
So I think he comes out too. I think Belzile goes back down. So that's 2 spots right there. But I mean, again, so much is up in the air with this squad right now. So not too concerned about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, we just got to figure out as a fan base what direction this team is going in. And I think that's everyone's biggest question right now.
But
100%
positivity is over the last few games. We pushed overtime. We came back a few goals. You've seen a lot more push and a lot more effort from the guys than you did in the first few games of the season. So I don't mind losing a game like we did against LA, where we fought back and lost in overtime. At least it's a little bit of constructive criticism if something went well. Yesterday, we still competed with Boston all the way through 2.5 periods.
Yeah.
We lost control at the end, and that's a reoccurring issue, but we still competed with these guys and had the lead at some point. So that's huge for us right now.
With a really banged up lineup too. Really banged up.
There's a little bit of positivity here and there. And if we go, I know we can't string 2 games together, but if we go on a few games, a few points, we're right back in it. The Atlantic Division is so tight right now. Anything can happen. It is still early.
Still early. Well, let's wrap this week's roundtable on that positive note. Obviously, there's still a lot of season to go, so no point in throwing in the towel quite yet, because I don't think we could if we wanted to. So, on that note, I'm James. That's Nick. That's Dekes. We're gonna be bringing you more post games because we got new people joining the team. More to say on that in the coming days. You saw Adrian last night. He's running our TikTok now. So if you're not subscribed to TikTok, Habs Tonight is now on TikTok. I hear the kids are using it all the time now. In fact, I'm hearing the kids are using it so much they're starting to talk like TikTokers.
Are your kids using it, James?
They're not there yet, but
good. Keep them away. Sherman's sniffing the mic, and you see him look at him. He's like, "Ooh, this looks interesting." Hi, buddy.
It's what about TikTok?
Yeah. Yep. And look, we got more stuff coming up, as you know. Subscribe if you aren't already. Hit the comments. Always check our community channel on YouTube. We always have polls and art from Nick and everything else that you can imagine going up on there. We're still really excited to be a part of this project and do this for you as often as we can. So without further ado, we're going to let you enjoy the rest of your Habs content wherever you may find it, probably here on this channel. And have a wonderful day and keep enjoying the team as best as you can.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.